takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless the seeds we sow. Someone warm them down below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and strong, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching hungrily from his perch on yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. That's my favorite line. Isn't that your favorite line too? Isn't that great? Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless the seeds we sow. Someone warm them down below till the rain comes tumbling down. Let's sing it one more time together. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless the seeds we sow. Someone warm them down below till the rain comes tumbling down. Till the rain comes tumbling down. Happy first day of spring. Hello. Well, my name is Heather O'Day. I'm the music director here of the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living in Amado, Arizona. And without further ado, I want to invite our trustee for today, Ms. Marianne Akers.
Further ado. Happy spring. You know, this morning I got dressed and I put on my shoesies with poking out toes. And then I walked out the door and I said, uh-oh. And I put on a fuzzy jacket. There's something wrong with a fuzzy jacket and poking out toes. But good morning, everybody. On behalf of Rev Donna Maurer and the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. I just love seeing you all out there. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly, truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you are meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, every day and in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. You'll find our declaration of principles on the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. Or if you're really good, you know them by heart. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. If this is your first time here, we especially welcome you and thank you for your interest and your curiosity. Do we have any new people here today? Oh my goodness! Yay you! Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Where? Returners. Welcome, returners. We love you. I'm so happy. I would like to thank those who are assisting to make this morning possible. Well, that's just about everybody here, isn't it? In one way or another. Unless it would be a terrible social lapse, I'm going to leave it as you're all wonderful to be here. And thank you for everything that you do before service, during service, and after the service. Every single one of you. And if it's a social lapse, you'll tell me. Please direct your attention to the announcements in your bulletin. If you're watching us online, please visit cslaz.org for our announcements and events calendar. Thank you. Please take a moment to silence your phones and devices and prepare for our celebration service today. Thank you all.
Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. 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 Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you.
So take a nice deep breath for our invocation. This morning, as we connect with the essence of Spirit, let us remember the oneness that we are, the beauty of life, the peacefulness of serenity brought to us by the power of God. Let us appreciate our circle of love that brings us here and the sharing that comes from our hearts, the creation of this beautiful spiritual center where love is in action. I'm thankful for each and every contribution for today's celebration. Namaste. The divine is the same in you and me. I bow to the divine in you. Namaste. Hi, Lynn Green. So my talk today is how to stay centered. Did you ever feel you've been set adrift, lost, unsure what you need to return to alignment, to peace of mind? This invariably happens to me when I look to people, places, and things for my anchorage in oneness. Each day brings challenges. These challenges, whether physical, mental, or emotional, bring turmoil and impact our ability to remain calm. Using a vivid, illustrative anecdote, the spiritual master, Sant Singh, explains that we need to find stable ground amid the changing panorama of life. A rock in the sea remains unmoved despite the changing seasons because it's anchored in the ocean's bottom. Likewise, if we are to weather the storms that come our way and remain unfazed by the changing landscape around us, we too need to be anchored in something stable and permanent. God, or divine mind, or spirit. God was in the beginning, God is today, and God will exist through all creation, no matter what name you choose to call it. And God is always available, 24/7. Currently, our mind is anchored in the outer world, and this is why we are so easily impacted by all that happens. We need to anchor our mind in divinity. As the mind focuses on God in meditation, it is stilled. In the stillness of the body and the mind, the soul soars. It is in this stable situation that the spiritual realms and divine vistas open to us. Just like we tune into various channels on a television, we can tune into the channel of God through the meditation and partake of beautiful lights within. We will feel lighter, more connected, and possibilities will expand. The key to success in our meditation is to always anchor in the mind of God. By doing so, we can partake of the joys that the God connection offers each one of us. Let the joy and happiness from within flow like a wave, continuous and infinite. When I am anchored in my spiritual practices, I have noticed that every part of my life is lighter, easier. The attributes of joy and happiness have an abundant flow. Hallelujah. Thank you.
There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. In the stillness of the mind, the soul soars. In the stillness of the heart, the soul soars. There is but one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now.
Morning. That has to be another Heather song.
It is, and Melinda finished it out for me today, so thank you, Melinda.
It's amazing what this woman can do. I love it. Good morning. Well, Well, as everybody's been talking about, Saturday was the vernal equinox, or the first day of spring in our neck of the woods. And so from now on, we're going to have light coming earlier in the morning and staying later in the evening. And spring to me really does represent promises and possibilities, which has been our theme for the month of March. You can see it with the buds and the plants beginning to open. The yellow flowers on our vines at the center are beginning to blossom. Obviously, you can hear the birds all over the place. I've forgotten the name of it. It's a bright red and black bird that comes around this time every year. And I think it's a vermilion flycatcher, right. And it comes around, it stays around here for 2 or 3 weeks, and then we don't see it again until next spring. So to me, that's as much a sign of the spring out here in the West as the robin was in the Midwest, where I'm from. So, and also what's happening that I think is so beautiful is more people are out and about as the cold weather begins to warm up, and because so many of us have now gotten our COVID tests, our COVID vaccinations, and are feeling a little safer to travel around. So with all of that, I felt like a deep breath of spring was an appropriate topic for today, because we are beginning to breathe a little bit more easily and perhaps a bit deeper. So in coming, and I've talked about this before, but in coming from the Midwest, it was truly a ritual after the winter snows melt and the air became crisp instead of freezing cold. That was time for spring cleaning. And it was a ritual in our family for my sisters and I to help our mom do the spring cleaning. And I still remember how she would open all of the windows. And even though it was cold and maybe a bit windy, she said, no, we have to air out the house. And it really was airing it out of all of that winter, dark and just kind of depressing time into something more joyful. So I thought, let's take the idea of spring cleaning and let's put it into the realm of metaphysics and consider what we might do if we were to spring clean our hearts, our souls, our consciousness. So as a young girl working alongside my mom and sisters, one of the first actions that we took in our spring cleaning is we would take time to brush all the cobwebs from the corners of the ceilings and the windows so that we could prepare the surfaces for cleaning. So as we begin our mental and spiritual spring cleaning, let's begin to clear away the cobwebs in our head. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, tells us that our hidden beliefs and deep-seated convictions inevitably outpicture and reflect themselves in our experience and environment, both in the physical condition of our bodies and in the larger world of our affairs. So where are the dusty cobwebs of old ideas that are hanging around in our subconscious? Because when we become aware of them, we can consciously choose then to brush them out so that we have a clean slate, which we can fill with new ideas and beliefs that are truly in harmony with how we would like to live. And searching our beliefs takes work. It takes inner work. It takes time. Because some of them have never been put into language. We've had experiences from babyhood that sometimes have established something within us that we're still responding to. Or maybe it happened when we were very young. So in our mental cleaning, we might ask ourselves, what are some of the beliefs from my childhood that might still be operating? What images have I formed about me, about life, from other past experiences? Is there an experience in my life that has shaken my self-confidence? And how are those dusty beliefs affecting me today, right now? When I was a little girl, I may have told you this, but when I was a little girl, I think it was in 3rd grade, might have been 2nd, each student had to stand in front of the class and give a 3-minute speech. I was so scared that I couldn't talk. I swallowed in the middle of a sentence. I couldn't talk. And I shook so badly that even the kids in the very back row could see. So several weeks later, the teacher was talking about our speeches, and she laughed and she said, I remember one student who was shaking so badly that we could see her skirt shake all the way to the back of the room, and she laughed. And I turned beet red because every kid in that class knew she was talking about me. So in looking back, I realized what an awful thing it was for the teacher to make fun of a student. Had she given me encouragement and a little extra help and compassion rather than ridicule, perhaps I would have had the courage to try again. But from that point forward, I couldn't stand and talk in front of a group. And when I was in ministerial school, I told all my homiletic and speech teachers that I was not going to be a pulpit minister, that I had convinced myself that I couldn't speak in front of groups, and my ministry would be serving in a capacity behind the scenes. And it wasn't until my senior year when Reverend Dr. Mark Vieira, who was my homiletics teacher at the time, you guys know him, gave all the students in our class the compassion and encouragement that we needed to move beyond our fears. And that's when I remembered that second, third grade experience and was able to see how it was affecting me in that present moment. So once the old experience came to light, I was able to forgive myself, to forgive my teacher. And from that point on, that old cobweb had been brushed away. And to my amazement, I found out that I really like speaking in front of groups. I mean, you know how much I love it up here, you know that. The Apostle Paul tells us to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. I believe that the perfect will of God is that which serves our highest and best good. When the cobwebs of past beliefs are dusted from the cubbyholes of our mind, we are free to prove that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God, and we can see it working throughout our world of affairs. So our first job in our metaphysical spring cleaning is to dust away those thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that are not in alignment with the God qualities of life, love, truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace. And that way our spiritual house can reflect those qualities through us. Well, after a season of rain and snow, another of our spring cleaning tasks was to wash the windows inside and out so that our view of the world was clear and beautiful. Our eyes are considered the windows of the soul. And in our spiritual spring cleaning, let's make a conscious choice to see everything through the eyes of love, of compassion, and of joy. In his poem, My Psalm, John Greenleaf Whittier writes, "The west winds blow, and singing low, I hear the glad streams run. The windows of my soul I throw wide open to the sun. No longer forward nor behind I look in hope or fear, but grateful take the good I find, the best of now and here." So when those cobwebs of old beliefs are cleared away, we can look at the world with new eyes to see the best of what is right in front of us. We can celebrate the world. We can discover with awe and wonder everything that is around us. French novelist Marcel Proust said, "The voyage of discovery is not in seeking new landscape, but in having new eyes." I love that. So everything we need is right here. We just need to see it and accept it through fresh eyes. Ernest Holmes tells us, "Let us merge with the stream of life, becoming one with everything that lives, freely giving, asking nothing in return, expecting neither recognition nor compensation other than the joy of giving, and we will find an expansion of the self which we had never dreamed possible. We will find that the gifts we had so long and earnestly sought after are already in our possession." So you and I see the world not as it is, but as we are. And when we consciously choose to see life as beautiful, as sacred, as an incredible mystery, as joy, then life gladly gives back to us all that we have chosen to see. Long ago in a small faraway village, there was a place known as the House of 1,000 Mirrors. A small, happy little dog learned of this place, and he decided to visit. When he arrived, he bounced happily up the stairs to the doorway of the house. He looked through the doorway with his ears lifted high and his tail wagging. And to his great surprise, he found himself staring at 1,000 other happy little dogs with their tails wagging just as fast as his. He smiled a great smile and was answered with 1,000 great smiles just as warm and friendly. As he left the house, he thought to himself, "This is a wonderful place. I will come back here often." And in that same village, there was another little dog who was not as happy as the first one, and he decided to visit the house. He slowly climbed the stairs and hung his head low as he walked through the door. There he saw 1,000 unfriendly-looking dogs staring back at him. He growled at them and was horrified to see all 1,000 growling back at him. As he left, he thought to himself, "What a horrible place. I will never come back here." So if you and I want to see 1,000 happy little dogs, then we need to approach life with our ears lifted, our tails wagging, and our eyes open and receptive to the joy that is all around us. And in our metaphysical spring cleaning, we just kind of need to remember that we need to see with fresh eyes. The home where I grew up had wood floors, so part of our spring cleaning was to polish floors. We used paste wax on our knees, and we'd work it in and then polish the floor until it was just perfectly beautiful and shiny. It was hard work, but there was a sense of completion and satisfaction when it was all done, and it lasted, with just a little bit of maintenance, it lasted most of the year. So if we think of the flooring as the foundation of our home, then let's consider our spirituality the flooring or foundation of our life. And if it's to serve us well, then we must keep it polished through daily practices of meditation, affirmations, and prayer. When we have a strong spiritual foundation, then we have the capacity to weather any storm, to have the ability to see beyond appearances to the spiritual truth and to bring that truth to bear on that situation. When we take time to focus on our spirituality, we become better acquainted with that something greater than we are, no matter what we call it. And we know that this is what is guiding the universe. I have to stop. Did you see that? There was a little teeny tiny black bird that landed on the top of Susan's hat just now. I had to tell you, so cute. This is why we're out here, this is great. So we know that there's something greater than we are is guiding the universe. It's keeping the planets on course. It's birthing new stars and galaxy, and it's doing all that for us as well. And this something not only created us, but created us out of itself. And that makes us all God stuff, because we couldn't be made of anything else. And as we enlarge our faith and strengthen our belief through our spiritual practices, we begin to have a new sense of awe and reverence for everything around us, for each other, for the world, and for that greater something than we are. And the fun part of spring cleaning and from my childhood was to put away our dark and heavy winter clothes and to bring out the lighter and brighter garments. And if there was enough money, we got a new outfit or two. So in our spiritual spring cleaning, let's consider those colorful and lighter garments that we're bringing out as the essence of our creativity. Our new mental wardrobe manifests from the intentions and the visions we set. So let's fill our creative closet with new and colorful ideas that come to fruition through our visions, intentions, and actions. Ernest Holmes tells us, when life created us, it gave us two great endowments of God, the two highest gifts of heaven, love and creativity. Love so that we may have confidence in life, a sense of security and peace and joy in living. Creativity so that we can really live as persons and express ourselves individually. Alan Cohen in Wisdom of the Heart tells this story. A poet fell ill and complained to his doctor, "I have a rash, my joints ache, I get headaches, and I can't sleep at night. I feel irritable and depressed." The doctor thought for a moment and he asked, "When was the last time you wrote a new poem?" "Several months ago," the poet replied. "Have you ever read any of those poems aloud?" "Well, not really." "Well, would you go ahead and share one of your poems, maybe your newest one, with me?" "All right," the poet said. Then he stood up and gave a compelling soliloquy. "Excellent," the doctor congratulated him. "May I have another?" And the poet recited another of his work. "Keep going," the doctor encouraged. And after the poet delivered several more of his poems, the doctor asked, "How do you feel now?" Startled, the poet realized that he felt much better. "I feel wonderful." "Then go home and continue this," the doctor prescribed. "When you shut down your spirit, you shut down your body. If you keep expressing yourself, you'll be just fine." So our creative self-expression is how we color the world. When we shed those dark and heavy thoughts, we physically feel lighter, and it shows. It shows in our face, it shows in our step, it shows in our enthusiasm, it shows in the way that we find to share our love and joy with others. So our spiritual practices and releasing old beliefs create an inlet for God, and our creativity is God's outlet through us. Ernest Holmes has said several times in the textbook and other work that God is colorful. He says, "How can that which has painted nature with such a lavish brush be anything but colorful?" And we are colorful beings, you know. Melinda mentioned it about Loma this morning, how she really is just the epitome of spring in her spring outfit and hat. But we are each unique, and we're each expressing that beautiful creativity. Look around. Ernest Holmes tells us, "You are united with all. You are one with the eternal light itself. The presence of spirit within you blesses everyone you meet, tends to heal everything you touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone you contact. Therefore, you are a blessing to yourself, to humankind, and to the day in which you live." So let's brush away those cobwebs of old beliefs that no longer serve us. Let's use our eyes as windows to our soul so that we can see the good that is all around us. And let's polish our spiritual understanding and conviction through our daily spiritual practices. Let's see ourselves as God's paintbrush, coloring the world with the essence of our creativity, joy, and enthusiasm. And right now, let's all take in a deep breath of life, of spring. And let's claim that we truly are a blessing to ourselves, to humankind, and to the day in which we live. Thank you. Namaste.
Sha-la-la, ooh, sha-la-la, ooh, sha-la-la, ooh, sha-la-la. Breathe in, breathe out, spring is in the air. flowers, everything looks new. Even in the desert sun, we can feel it too. Yeah, breathe in, breathe out, Spirit shining light. Breathe in, breathe out, feeling a fresh sight. When we hear the cardinal song, we'll know what to do. Just breathe in, breathe out, God's love in me and you. Breathe in, breathe out, God's love in me and you. Haven't done that one in a while.
Okay. It's time for our offering. And so for those of you who are in our YouTube audience, there is a place at the bottom of our talk to send in a donation. And so we're asking you to do that as you share our offering affirmation with us all together. And of course, there is a container in the back for your offerings today. So, together, my gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me, multiplied abundantly, and so it is. Again, my thanks for all of you being here today. This is such a beautiful, beautiful place to meet, beautiful way to be together. So let's take a moment to close this service, this celebration out in prayer, and to simply know that God is all there is. There is one mind. It's the mind of God. It's the mind that we use. And so therefore, we use this mind for the highest and best good, for ourselves, for each other, and for the world. We brush away those cobwebs of things that no longer serve us, and we polish our floors with meditation, spiritual contemplation, and prayer. And we know that all those things work together to bring about a more perfect world. So I give thanks that we are here this morning, that all good is here. And I do speak a special word for anyone experiencing any kind of a situation that is less than whole, that the Spirit of God, that healing presence, is there within the midst of all of that. And so, with thanksgiving, we say together, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Hallelujah.